Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 102. And just left home a little while ago on this very rainy day. And heading out to our first casino. Today we're under a little bit of pressure to get moving along here. I have an early meeting, and I would like to hit my first casino before the meeting starts. I can always go back in there after the meeting. It's a short one, but I would like to at least have a crack at everything before everyone else if possible. Now, still, obviously, there's going to be people who have been there before me this morning, so I'm not going to have a tremendous amount of stuff here, but at least I want a chance to get something before the meeting. So that's what's going on there. This morning, like I said, it's raining. It's 63 degrees outside. And so far, road conditions have not been great. Traffic has been a little bit heavy, and it's basically causing me to only have approximately 13 minutes at my first stop. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm only going to have 13 minutes, because I'm still 2 hours away from my first stop. Hopefully I can pick up some minutes. I'd love to have at least like 22 minutes if possible to get in and out and thoroughly look at most things in this casino, but if not, then we'll prioritize machines and do what we can do. So yesterday, okay day, pretty decent day, made okay money, but we need to still step up our game. So we'll see how it goes today. I hooked up with some friends that I met through the podcast yesterday, and we're making connections and working together, and hopefully that will be fruitful. Really, that's what's going on this morning. So just fighting the weather, fighting the clock, and I'll come back and let you know how things are going. Alright guys, as I am approaching the first casino, it looks like I'm going to have about 20 minutes in there, so I'm going to get in and out and cover as much ground as I possibly can, hit the high points at least, and if there's something that's borderline or that is going to take a long time, then I can come back to it afterward. If it looks like it's dead in there and there's no other plays, then I will leave right after the meeting and move on to the next casino. So here we're going to be playing slots. Next casino is going to be blackjack, and we'll see how it goes here. So just trying to get through this heavy traffic right now, and a lot of police on the way over here. So that didn't make things any better, but I think I still made pretty good time. Saved about 7 or 8 minutes or whatever on the way here. And hopefully we can turn that into dollars here in a minute. So letting you go, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. I've got 3 minutes till my meeting starts, so I'm just dropping you a line here. Ran in and out of there, not much going on in there. I found one play, and I played that one through, and that's all I could do. And I ended the session ahead $30. So plus $30, there's nothing in there that I need to worry about going back for or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and go through our meeting, and then we'll head out of here and go play some blackjack, hopefully. So that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, just leaving the parking lot of the casino here. As I said, I made like whatever it was, $40. 40, 30, $30 in there, and finished up my meeting, and we're heading out to the next casino. It's no longer raining outside, but this was an interesting meeting, and a sign of the times, so to speak. I mean, we already only work from the office 3 days a week, and now people are complaining that they're working too much. And I just had a meeting with one of our European teams, and there's a manager that's complaining that their group has too much work to do. And not that the work is not theirs, not that they're not supposed to do it, but that they would like it to be reduced. Well, I'm really sorry, but you have systems that you own that have vulnerabilities because you did not lock them down properly, and they need to be fixed. Now, if you need more help, you can hire somebody and they can help you on your team, but otherwise you need to configure your servers the proper way so that we don't have this issue. And he wanted to know if I could reassign his vulnerabilities to other teams so that they can help him. Well, we have some teams that have 100,000 vulnerabilities that they're working on. Your team has 500 vulnerabilities that you're working on, and frankly, they're probably only about 20 different vulnerabilities. They can be fixed in a week or two, and you're bugging us to reduce your workload because you don't want to do it, but you're only working 2 or 3 days a week as it is, and you can hire more people if you're short-staffed. So the answer is going to be no. I'm not going to do that. You can be late on it, and it'll be reported as being late, and then you can give the reasoning because I'm too lazy, or I don't want to, or I don't have enough people because we don't work more than 2 hours a day, whatever you want it to be. But I can solve all your problems in no time. And one solution would be, let's replace you with somebody who wants to work harder, and we can have it taken care of. I don't understand. Your team has 1/20th of the vulnerabilities the other teams have, and they're taking care of it, and their teams are smaller than yours, and they're getting it done, and none of them are complaining except for you. But you seem to think that you want other people to do the work for you. And the other news flash is no one else can do your work for you because you're in charge of the systems and you have access that they don't have. So if they don't have access to fix them, how can they fix them? So the only solution I see is we can accept more vulnerabilities and accept more risk. We can hire more people, or we can hire better people. And I think that's the way we should be leaning, is hiring better people. Maybe there's a lot of young people out there in their 20s and 30s that would like to work their butt off and make good money, versus people who've been doing it for 20 or 30 years who maybe they're used to the coffee at 11 and 2 and 4 and cutting out at 4 and taking an extra long lunch. And I have this thing that I watch 3 times a day, and I want to do that, and this having to work cuts into that. You build all these layers of habits that you do, and then you say you have no time in the day, but then you have 20 things that you do in the day that are worthless and don't provide any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They don't provide any value to your day. So watching something funny, watching cat videos or something like that, does not provide value to your day. Maybe it makes you feel better. Maybe you're less sad. But you know what makes you less sad? Having a job versus not having a job. So there's my little rant right there. Do some work. And I even said, if you can tell me specific things that don't belong to your team, I'm happy to reroute them to the correct team. But let me know which ones. Oh, no, they're all ours. Okay, well, if they're all yours and you're the team that has access, then you're the one that has to take care of them. If you want to say we're only going to do criticals, do only criticals and let your manager and director take the blame for not having highs and mediums taken care of. That's, there's nothing else I can do to help you. So I hate to be mean, but this is real life, and China is not waiting, and North Korea is not waiting for you to fix the vulnerabilities. They're going to attack you now, and they're going to keep attacking you until you close the loopholes. So anyway, I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I'm going to need some bathroom time to get some accounting in, because this was a crazy session. I pulled out so much money out of my pockets. I'm pretty sure I have the math right. I better have it right. But it was insane. You got to recover from a session like that, and it was just crazy. I come in, I'm looking at slots, I make like $15. I go play blackjack, can't find a table. Finally, I find one like in the middle of nowhere, like where there's no other tables open. and there's a guy just sitting around dealing blackjack. There's nobody with him, so I sit down at the table, play there for a while, get into a situation where I have a serious negative count. I'm playing low limit. Hit 17, 6 deck, very good penetration. I end up leaving that table ahead 300, so I'm happy. I leave that. I'm going to go play another table, find another table, sit down there, $25 table, spreading one hand at 25 to one hand at 250, no problem. Start playing, and now a guy comes to the table, and another guy comes to the table, and the table's getting slowed down, but the count's going up. I'm not going anywhere with the count up, and it goes up, and I'm raising, and I'm raising, and I'm raising, and win one, lose two. I can't make any money, and I ended up leaving with a huge positive count at the end of the shoe. When the shoe ended, I had to walk away because I had spread to my max, and it's a low limit area, and they call out bets and all. Anyway, I ended up leaving down 1,000. So I'm up 300. I'm down 1,000. I go to the high limit area, and there is a $100 minimum. So there I was spreading one hand at 100 to a hand at 1,000. So I buy in for 500 and lose it. Buy in for another 500 and lose it. Now, this happened really quickly. The count started going up and up and up. The next shoe, the count started going up and up. And the next shoe, the count goes up and up and up. So every shoe, I'm starting to raise my bets. And I'm rebuying and rebuying. And I'm trying to kind of put it together here. I basically was free falling for the first 4,000. Just losing everything. And just extremely frustrating. And no specific hands, just those things that happen. You got a 17, dealer has a 6, turns over a 2 and a 10. Turns over a 10 and a 2. And, I had one hand, the dealer had like 7 cards. So it was like 4 aces, a 10, and a 2, something like that. 4 aces, a 10, must have been 5 aces, a 10, and a 2. Something like that. And just wrecked and I had to drop my bet, because the count gets destroyed when you have hands like that. I've got a 20. And so lots of ups and downs, but mainly down. And then I get into this shoe right in the middle of my session. That was like the most amazing shoe. We ended the shoe with a true 30. Yeah, I said that. Not a 30, a true 30. True 30 count, the shoe ended. And at this point, I'm losing and losing and losing and putting out 1,000 and losing, putting out 1,000 and losing. And finally I put out 1,000. I rebought 1,000. I put it out, and I don't know how I went down. I ended up I had 1,500 left in front of me. I put the 1,500 out. I actually took a picture of this hand because it was such an incredible hand. I'm going to take you through it here. I got a $1,500 hand. This is the last hand of that shoe. We have a true 30. Just in your head, try to picture the makeup of this deck that has a true 30, okay? I put 1,500 out. What are your emotions right now? My first card is an ace. Okay, and come on, and the next card is a 7. I got a soft 18. Dealer's showing a 6. What are you gonna do? You have to rebuy. You've got to double down your $1,500 hand, right? You don't have a choice. You have to double it. With that rebuy, it put me in exactly $7,000. I'm in for $7,000 with a true 30. And I have a soft 18 against a 6. I double down. They don't even call it out. I mean, they call out the $1,500 buy-in, but not the hand that I was betting that much or doubling for that much. This is a place that takes serious high limit. Double down, I get an 8. 8 plus 7 plus 1 is 16. That's not good. Dealer has a 6. I've got a 16. Dealer flips over a 9. I was just, honestly, with the count as high as it was, I was afraid the dealer was going to turn over an ace because it was a stay 17 table because the limit is so high. Dealer turns over a 9 for a 15 and an 8 for a 23. And I just won a hand that was a $6,000 swing on that hand. So the shoe ends. So what do? I'm even for that table, exactly even for that table. But I just lost 1,000 on the other table. I don't want to leave down 1,000. In fact, I want to leave up 1,000. Start playing. Next shoe. What do you play on the next shoe when you just bet 1,500 on your last hand? I went down to 200. The count went negative. I went back to 100. Started playing. Next shoe, I lost like 500. It was a very inconsequential shoe. Next shoe, I won like 700. Now I got like 62. I'm in for 6 on that table and 1 from the other table. Next shoe, I get up to like 14. I'm ahead like 1,400 for the table, so I'm like at like 74. The account calls for a $600 bet. I put out 600. I get a 9 and a 2. Dealer 6. I double down. I get a 9. I've got a 20 against a 6. Dealer turns over like 5 cards for a 21. And then from there, it was like a half hour of toiling just to try to maintain, just to try to stay in that range. I couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't make any money. And I would get to almost even, and then I'd get down 2,000 or 3,000. Almost even, down 2,000 or 3,000. Up 400, down 2,000 or 3,000. And finally, I finished a shoe ahead exactly 1,000. So now I won 300 on the first table. I lost 1,000 on the second table. I won 1,000 on the third table. Do you leave? I kind of feel like you should leave, right? So I ended up walking away, and the story that I told was that I was still down another $1,000. And I think they believe me. I don't think they care that much, but that's the story I told. So anyway, that's the way things went down. It's like one of those things where you've got to make a decision. How much exposure do you really want to have? How much do you want them to see what you're doing? For how long do you want to do it? You know, I got away with that $1,500 double down that won. If it didn't win, nobody cares as much. You know, they care. They still care. You put up a big bet, but nobody cares as much. When you win, and then the shoe ends and you drop down to 200 and then to 100, now something is fishy. And although that shoe did have some $600 hands, overall it was, you know, a pretty muted shoe compared to this one. So anyway, slots, I went back to slots on the way out because I didn't have enough gambling, obviously. And I ended up losing $15. So I ended up overall with all 3 sessions of blackjack plus 300, with the 2 sessions of slots plus 0. And on my way out, I talked to a couple APs, and we were just discussing what was going on in the area, and you know, some things that were coming up that we were concerned about. So that's really about it. At this point, I'm going to move on to another casino. Hopefully, everything is cool there. I'd hate to go through all that, get all that money back, and then lose. But at my lowest point, I was down, I want to say 50, like 5,000, something like that, about 5,000. I was thinking it was more than that, but it couldn't have been because of that rebuy. So minus 5,000 at the low point, and with that hand, could have been down as much as 7,000. So definitely glad all that worked out. So that's going to be it. So right now I'm going to let you go, and I'll be back to update you soon. Okay. That was very strange. I'm a little bit speechless. I've gone through a lot of stuff in the last over 4 years doing this, and this has never happened to me. Twice in 10 minutes. It's never happened. The one thing never happened, and for it to happen, two things to happen in 10 minutes. I go in this place. Okay, sorry, I had a work thing pop up here. All right, let me go over this with you here. Insanity. Number one, I go in there, I'm looking at slots, I see nothing. I go to a different area, and I see a guy talking to another guy, and his back is to this machine, which is about 20 feet away. All right, and there's $150 in this machine, and I can't get anybody's attention. There seems to be, everyone's ignoring me walking by. He doesn't seem to be interested in it. So I see a lady cleaning, and I say, ma'am, there's $150 in this machine right here. I don't know what to do. She's like, well, they abandoned it, right? I'm like, yeah, but they could be right around here, just so you know. It's right there. I don't want to get in any trouble. She's like, you won't get in any trouble. Just sit there for 2 minutes. If nobody shows up, you can take it. They're not going to say anything because somebody abandoned it, which is the truth. Abandoned property left in a public place is the property of the person who finds it, okay? This is a public place. It's abandoned property. It's mine. But I felt bad about it, and I felt like someone's going to come back and look for it. So I decided to cash it out and sit in the chair with it in my hand, and I did for about 5 minutes. And she came back around. She's like, what are you waiting for? Just go. You're good. They're not going to say anything. They're going to tell people not to abandon it. And I think it says it right on their voucher that, you know, make sure you get all the money out of the machine before you leave. And this place actually was weird. One time I got 2 vouchers. It was a small amount, like $80 or $100, and it broke it into 2 vouchers for some reason and gave it to me. So anyway, it says on the ticket itself, make sure all the money is out of the machine before you leave. So anyway, I cashed out the $150 and I just left, and I was feeling really weird about it. And when I left, I'm going out the door, and there's an older guy and a like a 50-year-old black lady in front of me. The older white guy, like a 50-year-old black lady, and then I'm going out the door. And so this lady, she's ahead of me. She opens the door for me. She goes, you got a card? I'm like, a card? Well, first of all, what do you think this is, 1980? Nobody has a business card anymore. I said, no. I said, I'm not that important to have a card. And I was just walking away. And she's like, take down my number. No, she said, take down this number. I'm like, why? She's like, just take it down. I'll tell you what to do. I'm like, okay. So she gives me this phone number, and she said, text me. And I'm like, why? And she's like, we get together, we have some fun. I'm like, lady, this is not happening. I don't know what you think, but I got like $20,000 in my pocket, and I'm married. I guess I'm married is first, then I have $20,000 in my pocket. I'm not about to get killed, get robbed, all this stuff for some either prostitute or some fake whatever with some person I've never seen in my life, who probably just comes to the casino to meet people like that. I am not gonna, there's no way. That number was deleted very quickly. So, wow. I mean, I always told you guys I was a good looking guy, but this was ridiculous that this happened. So, what do you guys think about this? You got the $150 voucher, and you got the woman who wants to whatever, or rob or kill you. And tell me what your thoughts are. I was just floored by it. It was very unexpected. Never had that happen. I think maybe twice in Vegas, somebody came up to me, but that's their job, obviously. And I looked like, hey, this guy's not too young. He'd probably pay for something. And of course, I would not do that. But never dreamed that it would happen here. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. And I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. I just went to the grocery store, picked up some vegetables and stuff, and should be good until I get home, and I will have some steak tonight, most likely, or maybe I don't know, maybe chicken fajitas, something like that. So right now I'm moving on to the next casino, and traffic is pretty bad. It started raining, and now it stopped again, so hopefully the weather holds up, and I'll be back to update you. Well, we haven't made a lot of money today, but we definitely have stories today. Let me tell you some other stuff that happened. I go into this casino. I'm looking around. It's very busy, unusually busy, and there is some kind of giveaway, something, drawing. You're gonna win $1 trillion. All you got to do is show up, and everyone wins, right? So I'm walking around looking. I see some people I know, talk to them. I'm like, so there's nothing here, right? You guys have been here half the day. Yeah, we've been here forever. There's nothing here. I end up finding like one play, maybe two, not much, and I end up making $2. But in the meantime, I'm walking around, and you won't believe this. I found money again. This time I found a wallet. I need to stop working and just walk around casinos and pick up money. An entire wallet with cash, with credit cards, ID, everything in there. So I went online and bought $30,000 worth of stuff. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. I walked around the area there, and I looked to see if the person was there, and it wasn't. So I took it over to the nearest security post and had them take care of it. So don't worry, I didn't steal people's credit cards. Come on. Man, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, fool? Anyway, so I leave there, and I'm up $2. I'm a little bit low on fuel. I had filled up about 100 miles ago, but I was in a hurry, so I was in and out and didn't really get a chance to fill it up completely. So I'm talking on the phone, and as I'm driving and talking, then I look down. I've got 4 miles range. Luckily, I'm half a mile from an exit, so I'm cool. There's 3 gas stations there. Everything's fine. Everybody relax. I pull out off the highway, pull into this area, and 2 of the gas stations are closed, and the third one has about 50 people in line. I'm like, and the price isn't even good. Well, obviously, because they're the only ones around. The price doesn't have to be good. So I say, okay, let me look online, see where the nearest gas station is other than this. It says 1.9 miles. I've got 4 miles range. I'm cool. I start driving. 2.1 miles, 2.3 miles, 2.7 miles. I'm like, wait a minute. It's the other way. Then it gets to 6 miles, and then it starts going down. And I'm like, now what am I going to do? So I end up driving 7 miles with 0 range left and get into this little tiny town. I think I've been there one time before. And there's a little gas station with the old-timey pumps. You know, the ones with the dials that turn, the numbers that turn, like in the 1950s and 30s and 60s? Those kind of pumps, not the 30s, but like the 50s and 60s. I'll post a picture if I remember tonight. So I pull in, there's only one pump, there's 2 pumps, and there's one side of each of the pumps is unleaded, and the other side of each of them is diesel. And it's the most expensive one around, but I've got no choice. So I stop, and I'm putting gas in the car, and I'm pumping the gas, and this old lady is at the other pump, and she keeps looking at me. I'm like, what is up with people today? Well, there was something that I did to my car that made it stand out, let's just say. and she liked it a lot. She was talking and talking and talking about it, and then we both had to go inside to pay, right? Because these old gas pumps, they don't have anywhere for credit cards. So you got to go inside, go to the register, and then you have to put the credit card in, and then you have to sign the paper, do all that kind of stuff. And while I was in there, actually, I found some local honey, which is cool. I mean, this is still like 100 miles from home, but you know, that's not bad. We do need some local honey. And she finishes paying, and she goes outside, and she comes back in. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just got to ask, is it okay if I take a picture of your car?" And I'm like, "Of course it's okay." She goes out and takes. She's like, "My friends are not going to believe it when I tell them, so I got to take a picture." So I said, "Go ahead." So that's my story. So actually, I've got to call this person back that I was talking to on the phone. We got fuel. Everything is good. We're heading toward home. Everything is fine. And while we were at the casino also, I noticed they put in 4 new machines. And I'm not positive, but sometimes you can make money when a machine is new. And I don't think this is one of them, but I'm checking with some friends. And if it is, I should get home around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I will be turning around and coming right back and waiting for them to turn them on. Now, I might be bringing some friends, so we will see what happens with that. But that's where we are right now, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, still continuing my trip home here. Let's do our segments. It's been a crazy day. A crazy day. So many weird things. Big hands. Women inviting me to whatever. They're gonna kill you and throw you in a ditch somewhere. Almost running out of gas. Buying local honey at a gas station. Using a gas pump with the old meter things on there. It's been a crazy, crazy day. Ups and downs like you wouldn't believe. What did you eat today, MW? Not very much. I had just some vegetables, and I talked to my wife a little bit ago, and we have some chicken fajitas from yesterday, and I'm gonna put them in a skillet and warm them up, and it should be delicious. Have those with some vegetables, no tortillas or anything like that. Maybe a little bit of salsa on top, should be just fine. And what did you tip today, MW? And that's interesting, right? Because I had a $6,000 hand. Well, you got to tip something on something that big, right? Because whenever you win big, you have to tip the dealer. It's your obligation, right? So $6,000. What do you think would be a good tip for a $6,000 hand? What do you think? 1% would be $60. 10%? $60? How about 0%? I ain't paying you nothing. You know that. So I tipped $0 today, and I can't wait to get home and relax, put my feet up, hang out with the family, and get ready for tomorrow's long trip. And so for now, I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.